Number 10. Gianni Versace. The link between fashion designer Gianni Versace and spree killer Andrew Cunanan is debated. Maureen Orth of the Vanity Fair and various FBI agents claim that Versace and Cunanan met at the San Francisco nightclub back in 1990. However, Versace's family remains adamant that the fashion icon never met Cunanan in person. Orth also claims that Cunanan often name-dropped Versace, proving some type of fandom, or, at least, a dangerous observation. On July 15, 1997, Cunanan shot and killed Versace outside of his Miami mansion. His true motive remains a mystery, although some have theorized that he did it for publicity. Number 9. Selena. And an iconic Latin artist, Selena saw enormous success in the United States. In fact, her posthumous album, Dreaming of You, is the highest-selling Latin album in the American history as of 2012, having sold 3 million copies. Her work reached the ears of Yolanda Saldivar, who began a Selena fan club that eventually reached 5,000 members. She later became the manager of Selena's beauty boutique and salon business, Selena, and etc. However, Saldivar used both the embezzled tens of thousands of dollars. This put a strain on Selena's and Saldivar's friendship and business agreement. On March 31, 1995, Selena met with Saldivar at the Days Inn, and Saldivar shot Selena in the shoulder. The bullet severed Selena's subclavian artery, and she tragically died of blood loss. Number 8. Andres Escobar. Perhaps the most famous soccer player in Colombia's history, Andres Escobar was a great athlete and worked hard to promote a promised image for his country. Unfortunately, one simple mistake cost Escobar his life. During the 1994 World Cup, Colombia was playing against the United States when Escobar accidentally scored his own net. During the 1994 World Cup, Colombia was playing against the United States when Escobar accidentally scored on his own net, which cost Colombia the game. A few days later, Escobar visited a nightclub at Medellin when he was shot and killed in the parking lot. The assailant, Roberto Castro Munoz, was a drug cartel bodyguard and driver. Escobar might have been killed on the orders of the Santiago Gallen, who had gambled on the game and lost big. Number 7. Jesse James. A Confederate sympathizer during the American Civil War, Jesse James later found national recognition as an outlaw who robbed trains and banks. Stories of his crimes spread from coast to coast, eventually reaching a young man from Missouri named Robert Ford. Ford met James when he was 18 and joined the Diminishing James Younger Gang. However, Ford was eventually swayed by the $10,000 bounty that had been placed on James, and Governor Thomas T. Crittenden offered Ford a full pardon if he betrayed his friend and mentor. So he did just that on April 3, 1882. As James was dusting a picture, Ford shot him in the back of the head. Number 6. Rebecca Sheffer. A popular TV actress of the 80s, Rebecca Sheffer starred in the CBS sitcom My Sister Sam, which ran for 2 seasons from 1986 to 88. Her work in the show attracted the attention of the 19-year-old fan Robert John Bardo. Obsessed, Bardo began stalking Sheffer and writing her numerous letters. After Sheffer appeared in bed with an actor in the movie Scenes from the Class Struggle in Beverly Hills, Bardo grew jealous and tracked Sheffer to her apartment using a detective agency. Sheffer was visibly displeased and asked him to not come to her home. After breakfasting at a nearby diner, Bardo returned anyway and shot her when she answered the door. She was just 21 years old. Number 5. Albert Ebose Bojango. This soccer player from Cameroon played professionally from 2008 to 2014, and his death is shrouded in mystery. On August 23, 2014, Bojango was playing a home game with GAS Kabylie. The team lost, so the home team fans were irritated. As Bojango was leaving the field, he was reportedly struck in the head by the projectile thrown in the stands. Bojango suffered a traumatic brain injury and died just a few hours later. This was the official story provided by Algerian authorities. However, Cameroonian pathologist named Andre Mounet later told the BBC that Bojango's injuries suggested he had been beaten. Regardless, no one was ever charged for his death. Number 4. Mikhail Lamontov. This famous and influential Russian author was leading writer in the Romantic movement. While Lermontov is mostly remembered for his poetry, he was also a successful prose writer and painter. In 1841, Lermontov visited the city of Pyatigorsk and based in his success. While there, he met his old school friend and admirer of his work, Nikolai Martynov. Martynov even dressed and acted like one of Lermontov's characters. Lermontov teased him in response. The teasing got so bad that Martynov challenged Lermontov to a duel. He emerged successful and killed Lermontov on July 27, 1841. Number 3. Christina Grimmie. This American singer rose to the internet to fame uploading cover songs to YouTube and eventually found success on the 6th season of The Voice. She finished in the 3rd place and signed with Island Records. Grimmie eventually caught the attention of a man named Kevin James Loibl, who developed an unhealthy fascination. He traveled from St. Petersburg, Florida, to Orlando, as Grimmie was performing at a Plaza Live. After the performance, Grimmie was singing autographs when she was shot by Louisville, who took his own life shortly after. Grimmie was rushed to the hospital, but pronounced dead half an hour after the shooting. Number 2. Diamondback Darrell. Darrell Lance Abbott was a famous guitarist of iconic heavy metal band Pantera. The band saw great success in the mid-90s with their album Far Beyond Driven, reaching number 1 in the United States. He also played for the lesser-known Damageplan. While performing with his band on December 8, 2004, Abbott was shot by a fan named Nathan Gale. Gale shot several others too, killing 3 and injuring a further 3 before being killed by a police officer. Abbott was pronounced dead at the scene, and Gale's motive still remains uncertain. Number 1. John Lennon. Although a longtime fan of the Beatles, Mark David Chapman became enraged at what he saw as blasphemous statements by the singer John Lennon. Chapman had become a born-again Presbyterian in 1917. He also developed an obsession with The Catcher in the Rye and wished to emulate its protagonist, Holden Caulfield, by acting out against supposed phoniness. After traveling to New York, Chapman loitered outside Lennon's apartment complex on December 8, 1980. He got Lennon's signature as they exited the complex, but when Lennon returned hours later, Chapman shot him from behind 4 times. Chapman spent the rest of his life behind bars, and as of 2022, he has been denied parole 11 times.